Hey everybody, Texas Stroke here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMobiles.com. Got back from work just a little bit ago, had supper. It is 9 p.m. on a Friday night, and we had a special package in the mail today. So, we got ourselves the first of its kind. This is just a truly random assortment of stuff from Harry J. Epstein, however you would pronounce it. Don't know. Take your pick. But there's one tool in particular that's actually why we bought all this stuff, and then there's just some other cool things that I found. Sadly, if they have a threshold for free shipping, I don't know what it is, and ultimately freight was about $12, which doesn't seem like much, but when you think about all the times I tell you on KC Tool and Tang and Capri and everywhere, that $12 is another tool essentially. And that's why I always, when it's possible, it's not like outrageous, you know, like if we were wanting a $12 item and free freight was over $100, you kind of have to stop and think about it. But sadly, that is something we have to consider here. But essentially, I had heard of this company, hadn't brought anything in from them. They're sort of like an old school mom and pop type of a hardware store. And then, best I understand, they kind of come in and like buy stuff when somewhere goes out of business. They just absorb all your stock essentially. Could be mistaken there too, but like I said, there's one item here, which is why we purchased everything. But we've got 4 items in total, and we're going to get started with this one. My apologies if there's a background noise. That would be a fan. It's been about 105 the last 2 days, so it's pretty warm in here, to say the least. But this item comes from Channellock. It's going to set me back all at $23.76, and this thing is of very strong interest to me. And if I set that down and you're like, what is that? You know, I've never seen that, or hey, yeah, that kind of looks familiar, but why? Well, this is one of the great unknowns. It's just, it was something that was there, and it was going to be some miraculous, you know, new tool release party type of a thing, and it never materialized. And what I mean by that, it was probably about a year ago, right? Channellock was going gun-ho. It's like the speed grip, you know, you gotta try the speed grip. It's coming, get ready. They were hyping it up, amping it up, getting everybody, you know, hysteric for it, or at least the follower base or people that care about pliers. And I was gun-ho, man. I kept going into Home Depot, and I'm like, hey, you know, y'all got the new speed grips, and I see some pegs, you know, there's no tags. Is that where the speed grip's gonna go? And of course, their employees, you know, have no clue. They don't really care. And so it got to a point where I was like, well, I'll just go through, you know, where I buy bolts and everything. They distribute Channellock. They had no clue what I was talking about. And I tried, you know, periodically for a couple of months. You know, they come every 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, hey, you know, you hear anything about that new Channellock? You know, speed grip? And you know, no was always the answer. And finally, I just kind of gave up. And I would look online. About the only place I could find them was Amazon. And it was like not direct. It was through somebody that clearly bought them and was marking them up. Their price wasn't going to be ridiculous, evidenced by the money we paid here. And subsequently, I just kind of, you know, from time to time would check in, couldn't find anything. And I don't know if there was like an issue with the tool, if they're defective, if they just didn't fare well, if they made the initial batch and then like the core box was destroyed. I don't know what the story is. I've never seen them mention it. If you go to their website, you can still find the page. You can't purchase them. If you find them online, again, it's basically just people reselling them on Amazon and eBay. And beyond that, you know, there were like a few people, like a Garage Journal thread where they like waltzed into an Ace Hardware. There's all like East Coast. You got to remember, they're based in Pennsylvania. And so if like maybe that first round of shipments went out, you know, I guess it would like hit the Carolinas, you know, relatively quick, Virginia, somewhere in that area. Maybe some Ohio people snagged them. But I never saw these. No one that I deal with had a clue what I was talking about. There were essentially 3 sizes. I want to say a 420 or a 428, a 430, and a 440. Essentially 8, 10, and 12 inches. I opted here for the 430. That would be the 10-inch. It's kind of a happy medium. I thought it would compare well to other competitors' offerings. And I gotta say, I'm excited about it. I think I signed up for like the email release party Channellock was having. And then it's just like, imagine if I hyped up t-shirts. You know, we had like, even if it was just like 6 of you, they were like, yeah, I've waited 2 years for this, man. This is awesome. And then I keep hyping him up, and we get like another 4 or 5 people. And eventually maybe we've got like 50 people, and y'all are just like, yeah, sweet, t-shirts and stickers, bring it on. You know, I take my money. And I send out all the emails, and then it just you never hear from me again, right? It's one of those bizarre deals. I would love to know more. And honestly, like I said, everything I can offer is speculation, that either there was something catastrophically wrong with these, maybe the first batches got out and people had the same failure points and were reporting them back, they recalled them. I don't know. I really don't. It could just be a freak deal where maybe they had like 2 employees that knew how to forge them. I don't know. It's really strange, but if you've seen these, and you can see right there, new, right? And with this being at Harry J. Epstein, I don't know if they purchase these, like if they distribute it for Channellock and they had these come in. I don't know if like some Ace Hardware in Virginia went out of business and they got their crud. There's so many variables and unknowns here. It's very difficult to proceed, but essentially, Channellock, when you think of Channellock, you know, people think of the Cobra and everything, you know, German innovations and improvements on the tongue and groove pliers, right? This is sort of Channellock's take on the Cobra, you know, push button adjustment type of a thing, sort of their modernization of the tongue and grooves, which again, you're going to have diehards that stick with that style. You're going to have people that say it's junk, but I happen to prefer both. I think they each have their own advantages. But let's take a look at this for whatever it is that it's worth. All right. So again, as I mentioned, this is the 10-inch or the 430X. Again, 100% made in America. Awesome. Tongue and groove pliers, the 255 millimeter for all you metric people. Basically maxes out at 2 inches or 50.8 millimeters capacity wise, of course. That's on par with others. They've got a fast non-slip adjustment and cross-hatched teeth. Anyone that knows me knows that that's why we brought in like an Olympics linesman, right? These cross-hatched teeth, particularly on this pair of 318s I've beat up, I love that. I wish more people would do that. I understand why you would want smooth jaws, you know, or, you know, serrated jaws. But the crosshatch, in terms of gripping, which that's what you would typically be wanting to do when you're using a pair of pliers like this, you're not concerned about the surface finish, you just want to grip a pipe, right? That's where I think it really shines. So I was gung-ho on that. The new grips looked awesome in my opinion. It's not the dipped grip, which I'll have a comparison here for you in just a second. This is actually fairly comfortable. It's got a nice texture to it, so it's not going to slip in your hands. But let's go ahead and I guess just flip it around here. And what do we have? Fast and easy non-slip adjustment, not that you can see that, but laser heat-treated crosshatch teeth, grip stronger and last longer. I agree with that. There's a reaming feature here, so if you got conduit or something, or just some burrs on some pipe you're putting together. They're forged from high carbon steel for ultimate strength, and they have no slip grips, which again, we kind of determined of our own free will. So, let's see how difficult it is to get into this thing. Oh, buddy. There we go. Not too bad once you kind of figure it out. But this is it, man. This was the Speed Grip. This was supposed to be their haha. You know, look at this Knipex Cobra. Go to town with it. So we're going to start here. It looks like we would probably have a pinch point if that's where you're going to keep your hand. The grips themselves, they look really, really nice. There's a couple of like blemishes on them, probably from being handled by myself and other people. But again, it's not like a super aggressive texture, but it's a decent one. And again, like I said, I kind of grown to like that. It's not quite as comfortable as you would think it would be though, now that these are free and I'm sort of articulating them. You can tell there's a grip there, but it's still almost like you're just grabbing the straight steel or a dipped handle even. So there is that knock against them. It seems to be a little beefier here, and even when I come in and squeeze and apply pressure to this backside, I can at least tell it's padded. This front one kind of leaves a little to be desired. I think just beefing that up, you see how thin the material is on that front? They could stand to use a little bit more there if they are revising these or something. But right here, we've got the model number, the 430X. You can see the Channellock insignia there. Tapers down. We've got, this is interesting. I don't know how we're gonna make this happen, but if you can kind of use your imagination, and you can clearly see there's like a couple of grooves cut in this, and it sort of looks like dots or stars. It's sort of to be like a circular take on the American flag. Kind of a cool touch in my opinion. I mean, it's a neat design. They get props for that. Adds zero functionality to the tool, but it's something that I can appreciate, and hopefully many of you will as well. Coming in though, we've got a lot of positions there. And let's come see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and quite a few more. So probably safe to say maybe 15. We could figure it out later. It's not the end of the world. This jaw here, you're gonna think, well, hey, you know, why does this one look like that and this top one doesn't? Well, again, this is kind of ribbed here so you can ream pipe. That's a little rough, which again, I guess you kind of want that to ream pipe, but I would think we would maybe have, you know, ground that flush type of a situation. The jaws themselves come together like so. Not quite sure what's up with that. I would want to say that we would have that more uniform, maybe not having to, you know, flush shut, but it doesn't seem to be symmetrical side to side. Opening it up, check this out. That is the money shot. Crosshatch teeth. I don't know if it's just me that's a fan, but my goodness, when you actually use them side by side with something that's not cross-hatched, and they're fresh, not like worn down, you know, and somebody, you know, manipulates your opinion. If you were to take these and stick them on something, they're going to grab pretty good. I mean, what it feels like on your thumb, again, I equate this to a barbell. If you lift weights or anything, some people like mild knurls, some people like volcanoes and giant dimples in their hands, right? This is going to grab. It will wear over time, yes, but it's a situation where it's going to grip really well. And again, it's not just the bottom jaw, it's both jaws, so that is good news there. There's no real play. I guess the top jaw has a little wiggle to it, but I mean, it's nothing insane, nothing that would make me be concerned about them. In terms of articulating these pliers, just like so. So I mean, this not, you know, it's not quite Knipex smooth or anything, but if you hate tongue and groove pliers but you like Channellock design, or you wanted to stick with it, that's where you go to town. You can see it lock into place there. Again, they didn't really factor in like pinch points, I guess you could say, which is a shame because you think they would have on something. Again, this isn't like a tool that was developed in the 40s and they've just brought it back. This was like brand new, ground up engineering. And you would kind of think that that would have been factored in by someone along the way. But we'll see. I mean, I'll try to use this. I don't get a lot of use from this type of plier. Okay, that pinched the snot out of me. Right there. Not sure if you can see the line in my palm there, but there's one that's really red that's not got anything to do with the blood flow. And that's from these, and I don't know, maybe there's some design. Okay, I think I might know why these aren't on the shelf. All right, so you would assume that this is locked, okay, right? Like that's what I thought 2 times ago, and then the last time, if I squeeze again, I was actually getting these to shut back a second time and collapse the handle. I don't know, like I would think that would be secure. I mean, right now the handles are stopping them from doing anything. It seems to be... Okay, well that doesn't stay locked. Can we do that again? Not putting a ton of effort there, but you know, we did have it slip at one point. So that to me, I mean, that was the sound of a positive lock. Okay, I don't know, maybe it was just a fluke deal. Who knows? But I had a situation where it was about like this 2 times, and it like squeezed down and pinched me. So I don't know. You know, we'll try to use these, see what we think of them. Maybe if there's like some hardware I'm going to replace, or there's just stuff like super rusted, maybe I'll put like a nut buster on one side and this on the top and see what goes down. I am curious what happened, because this thing was hyped up big time, and then it just sort of never really launched, right? Like I've never seen it in a store. People that I asked had no clue. I'm sure some of you, you know, are on the same mailing list and everything. The button itself kind of sucks, just gonna be honest. I don't really like the coating on that, and it's sort of hard to tell when you're pressing it. Like I'm wanting to press and adjust, and it wasn't wanting to do that with me. Again, I just slammed my finger in there. I do like Channellock. I support them. I love that they're made in America, but just in initial bench testing here, I have a few concerns with that product. So maybe we're answering our own questions here, but we will use it. I'll attempt to. I'll try to learn to have gloves on, impact gloves, and you know, maybe not get crushed. But, sticking with the Channellock theme here, let's come in with these. Price point, $10.30. A lot of you kind of know what that would equate to with Channellock, and if you're thinking slip joint pliers, that would be correct. This is just a pair of the 5/28s. These are 8-inch slip joint pliers. These are in bulk packaging. I always kind of wondered what that would look like, and apparently that's it. So again, if you're like a distributor and you're just going to throw these out in like a shelf display type of a thing, this would be what you would see. So nothing crazy here, nothing too fancy. These are again just 2-position slip joint pliers. I say 2-position because now there are some pretty cool 3-position ones. I've still never tried one personally, but it's on my short list of things to do. Teeth here are what you would typically see on like a Cobra or some other German plier. They're just traditional. They're not cross-hatched by any means. Very wide opening you can get with these. And honestly, I didn't have but 2 pairs. That's kind of why I brought those in. And the pairs that I have are worn down. Case in point right here, this is kind of my go-to. They're just some random Taiwanese ones. And still fairly decent on the teeth, considering I've had these since I was like 8 years old or something. And the grip is actually surprisingly good. It's textured. Kind of padded to some degree too. So nonetheless, though, these are a little bit longer. It'll give me a little more leverage. Thought I might throw them in the truck box, take it from there. So also, this is the dipped versus what they had there, which I do like the way that feels in hand. I just think it needs to be way more padded on this front edge where you're going to be gripping you know, with your 4 fingers. But that's just my takes right off the cuff there. Coming in next, what do we want to do? These next 2 are going to be from Germany, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to throw at you first. I think we'll go with this one right here. And this, when I said it's from Germany, I mean it. It's part number 47473. Cost me $12.50. That might have been an original price when this thing was new. I think I vaguely remember these from catalogs, but I tell you what it is. It is from Craftsman. And you're thinking, what? Craftsman in Germany? What's going on? Is this like a Cobra? What's the deal? Well, check it out. You can drop her down. You're thinking like, oh, you know, a T-handle, a hex key, I don't know, a rotating T-handle hex key. I mean, what's the deal? Well, check it out now. When you see that arrow, a dot, and another arrow, you're thinking, oh, it's a ratcheting screwdriver. And that would be 100% correct. This, I don't know. I'm assuming it's to hang it from. It is very, and I do mean very top heavy. Like, there's no weight back here, and it's also kind of a funky shaped handle, like it tapers a little bit, but there's a ton of weight up here. So this is the Craftsman Professional Grip Driver 47473. Again, you can kind of see we've got the traditional, you just kind of break stuff free, and you're tighten and you're loosen. That's all there is to it there. Again, if we go into ratchet mode, go to town. Not quite. The reason I bought this, one, I thought, ooh, you know, like, am I really going to buy anything from this site again? I don't know, maybe. And it was there, and it was $12.50. It's like, you know, that sells out. We won't have the opportunity, and it would probably cost way more than $12.50. And I don't have. I think I have 1, maybe 2 ratcheting screwdrivers, and they suck. So I thought maybe this one would be decent. I think it'll work okay. It's just I don't know that I'm gonna love it. That said, though, that's the big selling point. It's a ratcheting screwdriver. It is a bit holder, so whatever size we want to throw in, we can. Here's a KC Tool Philo bit. That didn't sound impressive, but I tell you what, it actually provides pretty good hold. I feel like there's a lot of friction on the sides too. If my finger looks strange to you, that's because this is kind of splined. Let's try to get a good look for you. See all of that textured area looking there, just like serrated lines? That's what it is. And I gotta say, that is sort of nice to have on a ratcheting screwdriver. This is not fast enough to want a smooth shaft, I'll tell you that right now. It might get old after time. It might start to wear on you. I kind of probably prefer a mild knurl personally, but not a terrible setup. I thought this was supposed to come with bits. But you can see right there, it does ratchet down. That's not quite 90 degrees, is it? It's kind of a weird thing, but I guess, I don't know, I guess if we were, yeah, I'm not sure about this, to be honest with you. I can see what they were trying to do. I just feel like if I had the ability to go down the 90 degrees, like this is kind of awkward. just, you know, I could spin it around and drive the screw down just fine like this, but then the problem is if I wanted to come back, I don't know. Well, it was $12, that's the good news. I don't think there's bits with it, and I did think there was supposed to be, but hey, no real loss. We've got plenty of bits. And this is just one of those things. I thought I could use it like for interior work maybe and have some fun with it, so we'll see. Maybe it'll fare better than I'm thinking it will, but if nothing else, it's another ratcheting screwdriver. Probably better than what I have, although it is a very weird back end. In fact, it sucks. Like, I'll just straight up tell you, like, holding this driver like this is terrible. It's not balanced. The back side here is just, I don't know. Well, thing is, I'm not sure if this is still in production or not. Let me try to find the text for you. Got the US patent number. This is what I wanted to show you. I'm not sure if it's going to show up. Right there, I think you can see made in Germany. Like, use your imagination, and I think you can. But right there beside it, I believe the OE on this is Schroeder, right? And this is just something rebranded for Craftsman. I would be interested to know if this is still available or if they've improved upon it. I can see exactly what they were wanting to do. I just don't know that I would have done it in the same way. Maybe counterweights, you know, or something, and having it just be a little bit longer on the back side would also allow us like the full 90 degrees and to use it as a true T-handle. But ultimately, just kind of like our speed grip there, I guess I'll just have to use it before I pass like final judgment on it. But hey, they're both sort of, you know, possible novelties here that I'm not sure how long they're going to be around, so I figured we would cash in on it, if you will. This final item, this is a whole reason for buying anything that you see here. Technically, I could get those anywhere for $10 or less. I probably could have gotten them less locally, in all honesty, but you know, I was buying stuff anyway. So that I've never been able to find. This I can see why you can't find it anymore, but I will try it. I don't want to pass judgment too fast. I will give it a fair shake. I'll start using it instantly as best I can. But what I really wanted, and why we bought anything from HJE to begin with, is in a little bag over here. This thing is, I'll tell you what, if I show it to you on this side, okay, and I told you it was $16.75 and from Germany, you'd probably be thinking like, whoa, you know, no way. You're like, that looks like those Knipex you had, and those were way more, you know, and then you brought in some others, and I know what 10-inch locking pliers cost on KC Tool, man. That was a heck of a deal right there. Tell me more about this. Well, I will. This is a 10-inch pair of universal locking pliers with a black wide release lever. Part number would be 0100-1211, and again the price $16.75. So these cost less than the speed grips, about $6 more than those, and about $4 more than the ratcheting screwdrivers. So what are these, you're asking yourself? Well, I tell you what, let's use the NWS knife over here, the ballast one. Let's slice that open, pull it out from this side if we can. This is it. This is our $16.75 pair, and you're thinking, oh, hey, you know, check that handle out. Is that how the Knipex ones? I don't really remember. Well, we'll flip it around. And, gonna show you some stuff here. That made in Germany. See how it's positioned on this bottom lever side, and then you've got the, you know, chrome vanadium right there, and you're like, what does that say? Is that something about Germany again? That, my friends, was very hard to see, but it says Bollman Seltzer. That is who I believe makes an awful lot of these vice grips, or locking pliers, whatever you want to call them. And this was brought in for the sole purpose. I wanted to have something from the OE, and this is honestly, like, if you search for Bollman locking pliers, you'll either wind up on the German website, or you will wind up on Harry J. Epstein. And that's where we wound up. And I thought, you know, that's not a bad price. And I'm planning to do kind of a comparison video between all these. And I am not so sure that they don't manufacture and rebrand an awful lot of the ones that we brought in from KC Tool a little while ago. So this is sort of like the high-end Knipex Jador style, right? Where we've got the lever extending, which I personally love. I think it's the best way to do it. The other thing I notice is the way these are shut and super ridiculously tight mirrors what I experienced with the Knipex and with the NWS pliers, okay? We're not going to go into too much detail because that would ruin and defeat the purpose of having the standalone video. But these are German, they are Bollman, they do have the release lever in the Euro style, right? And they've got the wide lever like we see on the Jador. These are sort of more polished than, say, the Knipex, which, since I have them here, again, these actually came from Home Depot. But if I were to hold these two side by side for you, I mean, I don't know. Now, a lot of you, and rightfully so, would think, again, I don't know how to pronounce this one correctly because we never brought anything in from them, but Rindsteg or Einsteg, I don't know. There's probably a German tool review video with some of their stuff where you can pronounce it correctly if you're concerned about it. But I would have thought that that's probably like the subsidiary, sort of like VBD and Stavilla, right? And I would have thought, oh, they probably make those for Knipex. I'm not so sure that it's not Bollman, honestly. And the thing is, Rindsteg, whatever I can't pronounce, the subsidiary of Knipex, they sell locking pliers, which if you had a pair, would look eerily similar to these, which compared side by side, you'd say they're the same thing. They must make them for Knipex. But if you go a step further and pick up a pair of these Bollmans, which again, I could be mispronouncing that one, my apologies if that's the case, have the three of them stacked up and you're going to say, hey, these are like identical. What's going on? What's the catch? And I'm kind of thinking we might be onto something here, and I don't want to go into too much detail because, again, that will be a standalone video. But I'll set these off to the side and I'll bring this up for you. Again, this will be the packaging from Bollman. You can see there's the article number 0100 1211 universal grip. Pay attention to that, 10-inch. Chrome vanadium steel, black wide release lever. Then you can see made in Germany. You can see the price tag, so you know I'm not messing around with you, telling you it's a great deal, and it didn't. But then you also see Bollman grip. Okay, so we're gonna throw that packaging up there because it's important. I need to keep that. We gotta do some comparisons coming up, man. And if that at all intrigues you, please, by all means, stay tuned. I'm in some info-seeking mode right now. If any of you have insights, feel free to leave that. Hopefully, I won't have recorded the video by the time. I probably will have, actually. If you didn't know, I do a lot of this in advance, so I will eventually recognize and appreciate your information. It will probably just be well after I've already recorded the video. So I've got calling on the case of KC Tool, trying to get some information, and I'm doing my own research on the side here, and I will just leave it at this juicy tidbit for you that I would not be surprised if Bollman isn't behind a lot of the German locking pliers, if you will, but they seem to be pretty decent. I actually do like these, and they're way cheaper than everyone else, so I mean, that is an in. If you like the Knipex or you like the NWS ones or what have you, you can go to Harry J. Epstein, however you would pronounce it, HJE, and $16.75. That is like for a 10-inch, I mean, that's a heck of a deal. So I do think they're decent pliers. I'm just trying to like figure out what's going on, right? It's kind of like these speed grips. I need the story. These are like three very interesting things on the workbench here that I'm trying to piece together. This, I know the history, I know the story. It's not interesting, but these three, on the other hand, So, if you have any insights on the German locking pliers, by all means leave them. If you have a clue what's going on with the speed grip, if you see them in this video and you're like, wait, I remember those, that's exactly what he said. I was excited about them too, and they've never come out. If anyone has any idea what happened to the speed grips, let me know. Again, I can already see some pretty significant issues with them, but I do think they still have promise. I'm hoping they haven't been scrapped completely or something. Just make like revision number 2 and go to town. But hello, tape measure. And this thing right here, I will try it. We'll see what we think of it. And it is honestly better than my current ratcheting screwdriver arsenal, so it's got that going for it. It's mainly the back end that's kind of throwing me off. Extremely top heavy. I'm not sure about the shaft. And then I like the concept, but I feel like it could have been executed better. So nonetheless, it is what it is. I do hope you've enjoyed this random assortment of Channellock and German greatness here in front of you. Again, if you have any information or insights or knowledge on any of these 3 items, by all means, let me know. Leave a comment. Help some other people out. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts regardless. If you have not already, subscribe. If you ring the bell, maybe they'll notify you when we have a new video. You can also follow along on social media, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Literally just got timed out and we were almost done. So as I was saying, follow along on your preferred social media. As always, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will catch you back here for more action from the shop.